This series of videos has been developed to provide guidance to grant recipients on how to request reimbursement for CDFA's Alternative Manure Management Program. These are intended to cover the basic concepts and may not address all situations. Please reach out to your grant analyst if you need help or have questions. This is part 3 of 3, reviewing what makes up a completed invoice packet and the process for submitting it. There are 3 things you will need to include in your CDFA invoice packet: a completed CDFA invoice template, a filled out proof of expenditures sheet, and copies of supporting documents. The CDFA invoice template is provided to you as an Excel spreadsheet, which allows it to be edited, filled out, and for the automatic calculations to work. Once it is complete and ready to go, we prefer it be submitted as a PDF file. This helps keep your submission in a more locked form and allows us to add notes for further processing. On this slide are some tips for converting your completed and saved CDFA invoice template from a spreadsheet format to a PDF using Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets. However, if you have trouble with the file format, it's okay to send it in its original spreadsheet file type and we can convert it for you. Your completed proof of expenditures can be submitted in its original spreadsheet format. And the last part is copies of your financial supporting documentation, such as invoices or receipts for all project expenditures being submitted for reimbursement. These are the documents referenced in the proof of expenditures. They can be digital or electronic files, scanned copies, even photos, as long as the information is legible. If there's just one document or up to a few, these can be provided as individual files or combined as one PDF. If there's a lot of receipts or invoices included in a single reimbursement request, it may be easier to try and combine or group these. Naming supporting documentation files with some information like the vendor name and invoice number or the project component they're associated with can also be helpful. Supporting documentation should contain a unique reference number for the invoice, receipt, payment, or transaction, a date, and some identification that the work or order is for the specific operation that has the AMP grant. They should also contain enough detail to tie the materials, equipment, or work included to the AMP project and to specific components in the approved budget. Essentially, to approve reimbursement, CDFA needs to determine that the expenditures included are reasonable, allowable, and align with what is described in the approved scope of work and budget. Generally, if the invoice from a contractor or vendor has more detailed itemization and breakdown, rather than a lump sum progress payment, it will make your task of requesting reimbursement easier, can help the processing and approval of your invoice go faster, and also helps the program be accountable for the funds it is distributing. If there's labor involved and it was broken out in your original project estimates and budget worksheet, there should be at minimum a breakout on the vendor invoice as well for the portion being charged, that is labor versus everything else, as the AMP program has a limit on how much of a project's grant funds can go towards contractor labor. You can also add notes to these if needed to help clarify the contents for the program, which can assist with the review process. For example, if you have a receipt or vendor invoice, but only part of what's on there was for the AMP project, you can note, circle, or highlight the portion that's being included in the reimbursement request. Alternatively, as a reminder, you can also use the description line in the proof of expenditures to help provide context. Those 3 components, CDFA invoice template, proof of expenditures, and supporting documentation, should be emailed to the CDFA AMP shared inbox, cdfa.oefi_AMMP_TECH@cdfa.ca.gov. This email address can be found in your introduction email and in the Grant Award Procedures Manual. This is better than sending directly to a program staff member, as there may be a delay in processing if someone is out of office. For the email, include your grant agreement number in the subject line. Once it has been received and reviewed, the AMP grant analyst will work with you if they have any questions or need to request additional information or corrections. When your AMP invoice packet has been approved, you will receive an email notification along with updated templates to use for the next reimbursement request. Payment for an approved CDFA invoice should arrive within 45 days.